Good. Okay, so we are here, and you can see my screen okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Great, great. So let's go ahead and get your question handled. What you got?
Okay, so I don't. This isn't really technically a question, more just like a, I guess, advice. But I was researching a bit into ult tracking and
hmm
how it can be really good, especially for Genji, because I need to know when somebody's gonna shatter me or grab me or whatever
That's
can
not
counter
usually the
me.
first ult that people think about with Genji. The first ult that they think about tracking is
Yeah,
usually going to be trans and beat, but okay.
yeah, I know. Like I'm usually I'm talking about the defensive side of ult tracking, not the
hmm
offensive side. But
hmm
okay, yeah, fair enough. And usually I don't really like. I try to track at least one person because I read that you should start small, like track
Yes.
one, then track two, then three, then four,
Yep.
five, and six. But sometimes in the midst of all the madness that's happening, I forget. The one thing that I've noticed that I'm semi decent at is I can read the body language of tanks pretty
Sure.
well. Like if I see a Reinhardt really confidently moving in without his shield, I know, okay, he probably has it. If I see a Zarya moving in and not really reloading or just
Yeah.
being really aggressive, I know. So what would be like the best way to train? I know you can't really answer instead of just saying just you'll learn over time. But what would be like the best way to train all tracking? The best way to use it?
Oh, literally between every fight. Literally between every fight, you ask yourself, okay, when is the last time? What I would start with is I would start with the support. I really would start with the opposing support, not the tanks. If the tanks, you can read the body language of the tanks, you're going to get less tells from supports. But what you're going to get there is, hey, after every fight, you're going to go, did that Zen use trans in the last fight? Okay, no. Did they use it in the fight before? Okay, yes or no. If they didn't use it in the last fight, if they let me rephrase that. If how do I best describe this? So what you're generally going to do is, let's say you've got it's fight zero of the game, right? And fight zero of the game
Yeah.
happens, or the first fight of the game happens, and let's say Zen won that fight. Let's say Zen lost that fight. His team won or lost that fight. Okay, let's say his team won that fight. He probably got some pretty decent ult charge, right? Like, he didn't get his whole ult off of winning one team fight, but he probably got some pretty decent ult charge. So you're going to expect that after the second fight, he's going to, depending on the level of play, depending on if he got picked early, things like that. But after two fights, as long as one of them was a one fight, you're generally going to expect that a Zen would have their ult. Now, that might not be true at the level that you're playing at. That would be true at a higher level. You'd go, okay, it's been one fight, it's been two fights, probably has the ult. You sort of can start ult tracking, you get more precise, but you start from a place of, okay, it's been two fights, he should have it. Or it's been one fight, and I saw in the feed he got a lot of eliminations. Or I saw in the feed he got eliminated early, right? And those are things that you use to adjust your calculation. But what I'd probably start on is I'd
Oh.
start on a two fight calculation for, he's not going to have it in the first fight, should get it late in the second fight or have it after the second fight. That's kind of where you're going to start. And then you're going to be able to check on yourself between every fight. Okay, you can literally between every team fight go, when did he last use trans? Should he have it or not? Has it been two fights since he last used trans? Has it been one fight since he used trans? But, I saw he got four eliminations in the last fight. Has it been two fights, but I saw in the first fight he was first eliminated? You see how you adjust for that a little bit?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
sort of how you want to think through it. And you might discover that,
Okay.
hey, Temporal, you're telling me two fights, and I'm finding Zens only actually get their ult every third fight, every fourth fight, because, I'm playing at a level where they just don't do enough damage. Great. That's fine. You should make that adjustment to what you're finding is true of Zens of your level. But I'm starting this with, sort of how you'd think of it in a very high level game, and then we have to scale it down. So that's how I'd think about ult tracking, and I would start with that Zen, that Lucio. Lucios usually take a bit longer than Zens to charge up their ults, just because it takes more total ult charge. Um, but yeah, hopefully that answers that. Anything else on that topic
Yeah.
you want to cover?
Not on that topic, but something similar. This is
Sure.
something that I'm gonna Well, it's a question that I'll ask now, but I would like for you to answer it at the end of the game.
Okay.
Basically, at the end of the game, I got flamed by one of these players. I'm not gonna say who, because what's the
Who
point of
cares?
a
Yeah.
cat name? Yeah, who cares? And basically the topic was me not switching from Genji, because you said this isn't so much about counter picking, especially not in silver. It's more about adjusting my gameplay, which I tried to do. So I
Sure.
just wanna like your honest opinion at the end of the game when you see how it all went. If I should have switched, or if did I adjust as well as I could in that certain moment or
Okay.
this certain game. That's all I want to know. So just tell me that at the end,
Okay.
please.
No problem. Okay.
Okay, we can start.
Let's do it.
We shall see, brother.
Look after yourselves out there. Ready for battle. 5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
I am your shield.
Escort the
Let me
payload.
give this thing just a second to get happy on its frames. That should help.
Use your heads out there. We'll get through this.
It's okay. I'm pretty fresh on the game from today, so I know what's gonna happen. So
Yeah, but
I don't have
even
to see everything perfectly. I can watch
even
later.
my
Yeah.
screen is being pretty rough on the frames is the problem.
Oh,
It's not just
damn.
the Discord. Let's close that out.
By the way, if your Overwatch has like frame drops, I've discovered recently that running Blizzard as administrator and then running the game in that mode helps a lot. Like I get a lot less frame drops that way.
Okay. Okay. Good to know. I think I do that already. I think I had
Oh
to do
damn.
that at one
Then I don't
point to
know.
do it. Well, I'm running more things than you are.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Because obviously I'm doing the Discord screen share. I'm doing a couple other things. That's fine. That's going to have to work. Let's also close that out. And I really can't go much lighter than that. Okay, cool. Pushing up to take your angle, good. Challenging there, fine. This is what we're talking about. Wouldn't necessarily have dropped in yet. I don't think you've done enough work to justify this yet, but maybe you're going to see that BAP's particularly weak. Okay, so you're over here. And I've got some qualms about you being over here. So on one hand, your Hanzo's got a completely different angle than you now, and that's really strong. Your Reinhardt is definitely close enough to be pushing forward. So in some ways, this is really strong, right? Like I like the spot that you're in now. The problem is you're in this spot without your dash, and how are you going to get out?
Well, unless I get an elimination, there's really no way for me to get out.
Right, like you can go deflect. Your best bet is like, I'm gonna deflect and try to leave, etc. So this is what we talked about in your first Genji review, I believe, where it's the hey, we got to
Yeah.
be really careful about using our dash to put ourselves in situations that are kind of dangerous. We like being at the edge of the fight like this, outside. We don't have anyone behind us. We don't have anyone around us. Everyone that we want to shoot at is sort of inside the fight while we're on the outside. That's good, but how we got here is putting us in a situation where a better team is going to turn and chew us apart. Maybe this team will. Okay. They did not, and part of the reason that they didn't was based on your timing, right? Like you went with a timing when your Hanzo had a nice strong angle on them, so your Hanzo was very threatening, and your Reinhardt could push forward. That's part of why you're not in trouble here, and that's great. So like, good timing covered for what was kind of poor cooldown usage.
Yeah. My dash usage is pretty bad, but I was, in my defense, I was for a reason very nervous today. I played this game today, and I have like 6 hours in competitive still, so
Sure.
I get pretty nervous in competitive still, so I'll
Okay.
usually do stuff that I wouldn't do normally.
Okay, well, it gets easier. It gets easier. So here you are. Let's go back here. You went for this. Now you need to play at the edge of the fight. You're missing some health, and you know you're missing some health, and you're kind of drifting away from your cover. Yeah, okay. So maybe you thought the cart was your cover, but this sort of worked for you, right? Like you had this over here, you were threatening over here, you had the ability to threaten from over here. I don't necessarily love that we drifted back into the open here. Okay.
payload in motion stays in motion. Barrier is up. Barrier is out of existence.
Use Sigma's AFK. Okay. Okay. So this is something that we're going to have to consistently get right. So we look at this. You see that Reinhardt. That Reinhardt is, you know, relatively low in health, but getting healed. You
Yeah.
throw another round. You throw another round. And you just have to know that he's eliminated here, right? Like, I totally get what you're going for, but you know, you just have to sort of track how much damage is going in on him. How much damage is going in on him? Okay, he's still got some health. You wouldn't necessarily want to dash yet. Now you could potentially dash if you hit the dash button, but we're too late. That's fine.
Yeah.
And the truth is, if we're really getting at this, I know we just bemoaned dashes. If you'd done the dash
Another
here,
bad position. Bad positioning.
This isn't a great position. You could be up here, and it's easy for you to get up here, so there's not a great reason. Also, you could go, hey, instead of chipping that Reinhardt, which is an option, you could go, let me chip this Junkrat enough, and the Junkrat's going to get unhappy, or the BAP's going to get unhappy, and oh, look, free BAP elimination, annoyed Junkrat. Like, you could be going up here and doing work on their backline, and if either or both of them turn to deal with you, whether you eliminate them or not, think about how much pressure that takes off of this frontline battle. Like, you're applying some pressure to that Reinhardt. Think about what you'd instead get by applying pressure to their BAP or Junkrat and getting the Junkrat, instead of throwing nades at your Reinhardt, to turn and throw nades at you. This Reinhardt probably goes down faster if this Junkrat turns and throws nades at you. And definitely goes down faster if this BAP feels the need to either fight you or run away from you. So, you know, much more so than you contributing damage to the Reinhardt here.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. You didn't really know that she was weak enough to justify going in here. And you know that you should be eliminated right now. And you get eliminated. Good. So here we are. You see this.
I was finally punished. Yeah.
Yeah, you were. And that's a full health Ashe. You throw these shurikens, and without knowing whether any of those shurikens hit, you hit this dash before you know how much health she has. It could have been that this dash was perfectly fine, because it could have been that she was at half health when you threw those shurikens. But she wasn't. She was at full health, and you know that once a shuriken hits, and you don't know it before then. And so now you've dashed in, and you have a Ashe that still has her cooldown, still has half her health, has a BAP next to her. You don't know if the BAP has the shift to the lamp. And now you're stuck in this 1v2, and you don't have deflect either. So you're just totally stuck. And again, that's going in with our dash when we aren't fairly certain it's an elimination in the next half second.
To the fight. Thank you.
And now your team's momentum has mostly been stopped, and if you'd stayed up, that's quite possibly goes differently. Okay, we're gonna need to practice that. Yeah. Yeah, so we just look here. I'm pretty confident that Zarya is now going to get eliminated. I'm actually confident enough to dash on that because it hasn't taken damage. You just threw shurikens. It has less than half health, and I know my Reinhardt does 85, which is almost 3 bars of damage per swing. I am pretty darn confident that Zarya is going to go down in the next half second, so this is worth dashing at. And yeah. You sort of have to calculate your own teammates' damage.
Because I would get a reset, and it'll be a whole different fight.
Well, would you dash at the Baptiste? I wouldn't, because I don't know enough about the Baptiste situation. I might instead just go, I was fine with this, or I might dash up here and then play around the high ground. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Like, I don't mind my dash being on cooldown if I'm in this relatively safe place up here. Okay. Bap's not paying attention to you. You're gonna need to turn and deal with. Yep. Your Ana's only at 50%.
No, we already had like we basically made an agreement that the first nano is gonna go on Ryan and the second on me because it's hard to. Usually, I never get my ult before Ana,
Okay.
but this case it happened.
Yeah.
This was actually the way we wanted it to play
Okay.
out.
Okay.
Maybe not at this exact moment though, but
Sure. I mean,
general
we're
plan.
sort of blading into like a 2v3. It's a. Okay. I'm gonna be okay with it. I hope you first go after the target to the right. You're not going to.
No.
Yeah. So that's a lamp. Lamps have to be destroyed before you can get
Yeah, I
elimination.
know. I just completely got.
Yep.
I don't know what happened actually.
This
I guess
could have been the target to
nervous
go
Twizy
after,
isn't
though.
the best Twizy. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
This is why I need this because I wouldn't notice this if I didn't like look back at the replay
Sure.
and stuff like that.
Deflect doesn't work against that.
Yeah. Force of habit.
Yep. But a habit that you'll want to recognize and correct because again, it deflect means you're not doing damage and you can't start doing damage. So like you actually in some ways make them do more damage because now they're not worried about thinking about dodging your shurikens.
Yeah, definitely. And then I have a cooldown to worry about.
Yep. You have to just leave. Yep. Okay, Hanzo's taking that angle. Are you going to reinforce over top? You are. Fine. Good. Worked out. Okay. Good. You're going to throw shurikens and dash. Now you know you can dash. Good.
Thank you. Wolf marks his prey.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Okay. I don't really want to walk back in here. We just use dash to leave. Get control of left. Dash. You know dash. Like you see that the Ana has no health and you'll get damage on two of them. It's the right play.
Yeah, I just didn't notice at the time or anything.
Yep.
You know?
That's always fun.
Yeah, that's very fun to do.
Okay, I hope we stop playing down the middle of the lane and instead take control of right. Okay, I don't like this one nearly as much. Again, it's not the end of the world. It's not like Ana can't just go, okay, I'm going to nano the Rhine later. But like this is a situation where she's at 75%. She's not exactly far from her nano. It's not like you're going to be waiting forever for her. And Nano Blade is a lot stronger than regular Blade.
Yeah. Pretty much a waste of blade. I killed one person. That's it.
Right.
Which I could have also killed just using normal
You
fire.
get it. Exactly. It didn't really add eliminations. Okay. Fortunately, a bit of a steamroll there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're definitely seeing some dash issues. You aren't playing at the angles quite as much as I'd like. You're doing some, but you're not playing at the angles quite as much as I'd like. And we've seen a couple blades that you've struggled with.
Fully healed.
For one reason or another. Different reasons, but...
Attack. Ready for battle. Five, 4, 3, 2,
Okay.
1. Attackers in.
I am ready.
Stop the payload.
I was hoping for maybe a Widowmaker or somebody.
I know.
Just to get a quick.
I know what you wanted.
Yeah. This is where the problems begin with that Winston, basically.
It's okay. Winston's not
Which
that
is
big a deal.
smart from their side.
You're here. You still have 188 health. You just took damage and you're in too deep. You have to turn and dash out immediately. Like, you just took a bunch of damage. You simply have to leave. And then you see the Winston is using leap, and if the Winston is using leap towards you, which looks like it's what's happening here, your response just has to be dash away. He has a shorter cooldown on his leap than he does on dash, but the way that you fight the Winstons is you know, if they leap at you, you dash away and you keep trying to chip them down with shurikens from afar.
Yeah. I've also seen like some Genjis are confident enough to actually take the 1v1 against the Winston and just put a couple shurikens in his head, but I don't think I'm at that level yet, or I might never be with my Genji.
We don't start you there, and also I guarantee that those Genjis are perfectly happy to chip them down to start. Like, even if you're comfortable with that, start by chipping them down before they get close.
Yeah. And never waste my dash before he leaps. That's also the thing that I've heard all the time.
You got it. Good. Less good.
I have a habit of just using those free dashes for whatever, for nothing, basically.
I mean, using them to get out isn't necessarily a problem, and using them to get out into a place that puts you on high ground, that's an unfortunate number of misses there.
Yeah.
Good.
I am ready.
Okay, you've all ended to a duel. I hope you're confident in your ability to win this duel. How many mines has he used?
So far, I'm not even pretend I don't know. I have no idea.
Sure, let's watch. You used deflect? I haven't seen any mines yet. Did you see a mine?
Wasn't there one? I think I saw one.
Maybe. Okay, let's actually check.
Then again, I'm pixelated, so I don't really know.
Yeah, no problem.
I am ready.
Yeah, that's one. Okay, but you don't know that he doesn't have his other one. And you're now in a situation where you've used both to get in and fight here. I don't love it. You're going to beat him. Works out. You beat him just fine. And then this dash? Why? Because you're that worried about the mines. Okay. The mines actually...
Yeah, I was scared.
Do take a moment to go off, but okay.
Not gonna lie, I was pretty happy I won that duel because I felt that was really, really overly aggressive.
It was.
But I was happy that I did it.
That's what I was talking about. Okay, you just
Here I
misfired.
missed a dash and I knew I was dead, yeah.
Yep.
That happens a lot to me as well. I'll dash into a wall and just get killed.
Sure.
I return
The life of Genji.
It doesn't have to be. You can get that pixel perfect control, right? It's what we aspire to.
Exactly.
Just break it.
Greetings.
I was constantly being told, wait, don't go in. So I was like, what do I do? Break it, go in, don't. No,
Yeah, you still break it.
I was like, I'm just gonna chip it.
Yep. Okay, are you giving up seconds?
I didn't want any part of that.
Owie.
Here, I wanted to protect Diana, but I just didn't know all that's gonna come my way.
Yep, yep. I mean, the truth is this rotation was never an option. The cart was going to be capped by the time you could.
Yeah.
And you might be like, oh no, the cart wasn't capped. Okay, but the fight was so heavily lost by then. Like, that's such a long rotation while your team was going to have to be fighting. You're choosing to dash in, which I'm honestly not a huge fan of here. It's a little bit of an isolated fight, but it's not an isolated enough of a fight for you to really justify the dash in. And also, I look at your Ana swapped off. That's unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. You guys could have nano bladed and made a stop right here. She must have thrown nano into the last thing. So you go here, you hit this, and then you don't immediately hit the deflect. Like, I'm really not a fan. We dashed into a situation where we didn't necessarily have the win when we could have tried to chip him or other people, because if he tries to chip us from further away, that's less dangerous to us. Like, we have the option to back, we have the option to get healed by our team back here. You're forcing this fight, and yes, we do want to clear this high ground, but we'd like to chip him, we'd like to try and remove him, get him down. And if we were going to go in here, we dash, we're pretty much immediately then going to pop deflect for the concern about the immediate flashbang. If you're really on it, you can go, hey, I'm going to try to...
Yeah, I had the idea to pop deflect right there, but it just wasn't fast enough. It was just a mechanical issue. I usually, every time I go against a McCree, unless I know that he doesn't pop it right away, if I try to get a catch on his timing,
Yeah.
I usually pop it right away, but I wasn't. It was just my
Yeah.
fingers not being fast enough.
Yeah, no, okay, that's fine. I'd have probably not even let that be a thing, and I'd have just said, if you're going to dash in like this, you're then immediately going to pop deflect for the flash that you expect, and if he doesn't then flash, you're just going to be backing up during the deflect, because he's either immediately going to have flashed or not, and then you're just going to drop down here and go, yeah, I'll get healed back up, I'll circle back through here, I'll do whatever, and then I'll go at him again.
Just a quick question. If he was at this health as he was right now, then it would be okay to dash, right? Because I can dash and right click pretty easily.
Yeah, that would be fine. Oh, almost.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what you do with this blade.
Oh, I don't think I did anything in this game with any blades.
That's a problem.
Yeah. My Genji was decent today, but my blades were not. Like, my damage was there. My damage output was pretty decent, but the blades, not so much.
Sure. Isolated duel, fine.
I basically have PTSD already from Junkrat, so I usually just stay really far away.
Good. Let's see what you did here. So you went for here. You did this. You open with a slash. Oh no.
And no dash.
You went for a second slash. You definitely wanted the dash, because the dash eliminates him faster than the second slash comes up, and like your animation canceling effectively sort of your slash that gets him eliminated faster, which is less time for him to turn, him to shoot at you, him to flash you. Okay, so now you're doing this. You don't necessarily want to use your dash on this Moira because you haven't seen Fade yet, but you did.
Yeah.
Ah, it hurts.
I did everything wrong. I've also had a game where I literally missed McCree, and he was backed up against the wall, and I missed him with 2 slashes. I don't know how I did that. I'll have to watch that. This wasn't this game, luckily.
Sure.
I was too embarrassed to actually show you that game.
Fair enough. Well, that was aggressive.
Yeah, here I immediately noticed when I watched the kill cam, I should have just dashed behind.
Yep.
I would dash through. I had this Hail Mary attempt to maybe try and kill him with like 56 health. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, that was not the play.
And that was a mega behind me, but I didn't get a chance.
You weren't going to be able to get to it with the direction you dashed, yeah. You have to go to cart. You have to go to cart. Yeah. Okay. some unfortunate blades. We're probably gonna have to talk about
Yeah.
blades in general because Genji is going to be a hard hero to make work if you're not getting a lot of value out of your dragon blades. A lot of people do think of him as a blade bot, specifically a nano blade
Yeah.
bot, but that's okay. Let's jump forward a little more here.
Initiating match. Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
So this is what has become of you. A pity. I will not be judged by you.
5, 4, 3, 2.
One thing that I'm really happy about recently is that I've kind of became a bit more confident in my mechanical ability, just a little bit, not blade, but just general.
Sure, your
Like
neutral
there's some
game.
duels that I'm taking that
Yeah.
I wasn't taking, that I wasn't really confident enough to take. Now I'm just like Hail Mary, just go, and what happens happens. So I learned that way a lot faster.
Sure. Yeah, limit testing is sometimes what we call it, where we just go push and see what are we capable of. Okay. So this is fine and all. If your objective is to just charge up blade as fast as possible, this is fine. And maybe you're going, hey, this is what I want. But I saw the Winston jump past, and it sure would be juicy to just walk back here and maybe do a little bit of this. Maybe do a little more poking at, their squishies as opposed to their Reinhardt. Remember, it's very easy for this support line to heal Reinhardt basically forever, right? Anna, Moira, they can pump a stupid amount of healing into this Reinhardt. You're not really contributing to getting this Reinhardt eliminated right now. What you're doing is you're trading out. You're going, hey, I would like to build my Dragon Blade. And they're okay with that because you're happy to go, I would like to build my Dragon Blade. I think it's better than the support ults. And, with my Nano Blade, I will get eliminations even through support ults. Nano Blade, Blade better than Coalescence. Nano Blade better than Nano Coalescence is one way to think about that, right? So you're okay with that. But if you're actually trying to win this fight before, before Blade, you're not going, I'm planning to win the next fight with Blade, something like that. The actual way to win this fight, it's way harder for Anna and Moira to heal themselves than it is to heal Reinhardt, right? Like, it's super easy for them to heal Reinhardt. Both of those heroes are designed that way. Whereas Anna has to use her nade to heal herself. Moira has to either use her orb to heal herself or find something to right-click, and if she's right-clicking, she's not left-clicking and healing Reinhardt. So putting pressure on them is potentially going to do more to win the fight if you're trying to win this fight than putting the pressure on the Reinhardt. And same thing with the Junkrat and the McCree, where them turning and being like, well, I'm going to try to fight you up there when you have the option to go, I'm going to close the angle. I'm going to close the angle. I'm going to peek you over here. I'm going to peek you over here.
Yeah,
I'm going to peek you up here.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
It's very funny you said that because I remember since this was the day. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I remember this exact moment. I was throwing shurikens in right here. And I was like, Tempora's not gonna like this. I gotta go around and use the supports because if I'm attacking them, they can't heal him. They have to heal themselves, which is not easy. I distinctly remember thinking, and I think that I'm gonna go around and try to kill the McCree and get killed by him. So I learned something, but I was a bit too slow at that moment because I saw everybody shooting at him.
That's okay, though.
Exactly,
like, I'm glad that you have the thought, and the thought, maybe it takes a couple seconds to show up, but A, you'll get faster at it as you've done it a few times, and B, the thought showing up means, hey, that's working its way into your consciousness into there, and it'll work its way into your play next. So that's good.
Yeah. See, right there.
Yep.
But, yeah, I got poked down.
All good. Yeah, you'd been at 134 for a bit there. You hadn't been getting the heal love, and you weren't exactly in an aggressive position, but that's just silver for you. The supports aren't really going to look at you unless you press X every once in a while.
Yeah.
No.
I know.
And you didn't grab the health back, interesting.
I didn't really know why nobody went for that sleeping Winston, but I guess they just didn't want to bother with him.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. Good. Yeah, I'm not too worried. I mean, yeah, it would have been nice for someone to deal with him. Didn't happen.
seconds remaining.
And here he is harassing.
It's okay. Back here, you guys take him.
We must attack.
Now you get to push off of his stagger.
I've noticed Winston is like a really powerful tool in the Overwatch League. I've been watching a few matches now.
Winston's great.
Winston is, yeah, a literal beast.
Huh? Yeah, Winston's powerful. Well, calling him powerful might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, Winston is a good hero right now. Ever since, they've nerfed most of the other tanks, whereas he got the 50 armor buff. They moved 50 health to 50 armor.
Here, just the classic mechanical incompetence.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about what happened here. You were trying to force a fight. You could have left the fight, but I'm not too worried about what happened here. You have overtime to worry about. The problem is we're down with Blade, but we're gonna get back in time. I hope. You're gonna have to just go back
I
to
hope
Blade
I forgot what
immediately.
happened.
There's our Blade. You should be screenshotting where everyone is, and you're probably gonna go for the Ana first here. That is not the Ana. Cool. But the problem that we run into is, again... Okay.
Bad positioning.
So you hit one slash on the McCree, and then you go for another slash on the McCree, and then you go for a third slash on the McCree. Where's our dash? Where's our dash? Our dash would have sent us through the McCree to finish him and would have done damage to the Junkrat, and then another slash dash would have eliminated the Junkrat. You see how that works? Where it's like...
Yeah.
Yeah. So dashes are part of your eliminations on Blades. And your equation changes, by the way, where you have to go against a full health hero, you're going to have to go / dash when you don't have nano. And when you do have nano, you're going to go / dash to eliminate full health heroes. So that's something that you're going to have to get used to, internalize, and practice. But go ahead.
Is / dash basically just slashing and then dashing through them? Because I've seen like there's a mechanic where you can just / dash and you remain stationary. Like for example, I think you can use that against when Zenyatta pops his ult. I think the burst with Nanoblade is enough to kill people inside the Transcendence. So
Yeah.
I think I read about it somewhere. That's like you like slash and you look a bit downwards and dash.
Yeah,
you
right.
dash like into the ground.
Exactly.
Is that also a mechanic? Or?
Exactly. That's the thing. You can control your dash distance because Genji can dash at people, and if Genji dashes at them, if you are, let's pretend that Ana is, well, that Ana isn't on your team. Let's say you're here and you dash, and your dash ends here. You're still going to have hurt that Ana with your dash, okay? So by the same token, if you just dash here and you don't or barely move, well, you finished here, and we determined that finishing a dash here was close enough to hurt the Ana, right? So this, maybe you move a step forward from it, still hurts the Ana. So yes, is kind of the answer to your question.
Okay. I've been trying to crack that, but it's kind of, in the heat of the moment. I can do it in practice, but in the heat of the moment, like, it's hard to just... Genji is a very fast character. That's why I like playing Hanzo better, because Hanzo is like, I can take my time, set up my shots. You'll see next week,
sort
basically.
of.
But...
I mean, you'll find Winston's jumping on you on Hanzo, and maybe you don't have time to think anymore. You'll find Tracer's jump on you on Hanzo, and... But I would spend the time practicing with your Blade, and I'd spend the time practicing specifically your dashes and Blade. So this is the sort of thing where you build yourself up a quick workshop. You can go grab a code off one of the sites if you want, or you can just build one pretty quick, at least for your basic level, where you increase ult passive charge time and ult damage charge time. And you get yourself a bunch of 200 HP heroes, and you make it so that you're constantly giving yourself ult real quick. And even though they won't move like human players necessarily, it's still going to let you go, okay, let me dash above them, imprint where they are, and practice doing my combos real quick. Maybe you're already doing something like that, but something like that, because it doesn't look like you're comfortable with using your dashes or when to use your dashes against these heroes inside Blade. And that caused that McCree to survive much longer than he should have, as an example.
Yep.
This could have been a much better Blade.
Score.
How long, let's say, how long of a practice session do you think would be okay? Like 30 minutes a day or less than that? Because
I would do less than that because
you
you won't stick to that routine.
Yeah.
You could do like 30 minutes the first time or maybe the first 2 times to really learn it, but after that it can be like 10 minutes a session twice a week type thing, or even once
Oh,
a
it's
week.
just like
Like,
a. Oh, okay.
yeah,
I thought maybe like a warm up every time I play before I play, because I have to wait 10 minutes for a game as a DPS anyways in competitive. So I thought
I
maybe
know,
like that.
I know. And again, like 30 minutes the first time or two, sure, but after that you run into a situation where no, you're going to be you're sort of trying to learn it, and then you're sort of trying to keep it there, like, and you will get better even with some of your keep it there practice.
Attackers
Okay.
incoming in 30 seconds.
You just don't want to have a situation where all of your practice is using blades in fights, because in fights there's a little more pressure on you to be, oh, but I want to do the thing that's safe that I'm sure I can do because I don't want to mess up, and we want to get rid of that.
Yeah. Genji is, all about taking risks all the time, basically. Just he doesn't really play that safe, I would say, unless the dash
Disagree.
confirm kills. Those are pretty
Disagree.
safe.
So, like,
Oh,
Genji can be a duelist, but Genji in the modern era, unfortunately, in a lot of people's opinions, is very heavily about off-angling, playing off angles where you can threaten them. You can go, hey, I'm threatening you from here. I'm threatening you from
oh
here.
yeah,
I'm threatening you from up here. And my support line can see me. And if I don't like what I'm getting, I just drop, and now you can't see me. I have cover against you. Like, I'm threatening you from here. I'm going, hey, I'm throwing shurikens, and if you damage me, I just go back here and get my healed from my friends, and then I climb right back up here and I do it again. And I'm actually just trying to generate blades as fast as possible because I'm going to try to win every other fight with Nano Blade. Like, Genji is considered an ult bot pretty often. So, like, yes, he has
yeah.
some I'm going to sneak up on people and eliminate them type thing, but that playstyle is not his strongest playstyle anymore.
That'd be Tracer, basically.
Yeah.
3, 2,
I've also seen they use her a lot in Overwatch League as well.
incoming. Stop the payload.
その程度か
Okay, you're gonna
I
have
don't
to
know why
dash
I'm
out.
standing in the
Yeah,
main
this is you should
line.
not be here. Now you're gonna have to dash out. Woo! You could already be eliminated. Yikes!
Yep.
Oh no. Fortunately, you have a Reaper buddy.
Yeah. He switched for Winston because I said that I don't want to switch because I'm working on my Genji, and playing against Winston is good practice.
Oh yeah, I get it.
They were pretty decent, the whole team, about it. The only one guy was a bit
Yeah, I get it.
flaming me, but I'm not gonna say.
So yeah, okay. So here you are. You go here. This isn't really the direction you can dash away from the Winston, right?
Yeah, because even if he doesn't have the leap, I still have to back away going towards him. So there's no
Well,
point.
you're in the middle of his team. You don't have an elimination you can get in his team to get out easily. You're now stuck in this fight with Widow. He's going to get his leap back faster. Then you needed to dash towards your team when dealing with a Winston like this.
Yeah. I knew that right away as soon as I did that, but I was like, I have to die here, at least I can take her with me, but I didn't manage to do that.
Yeah. Well, if you get the elimination, you get another dash. Maybe that's enough to get you out, though, distance-wise. Not really.
The payload is approaching its
Okay, you know where she is. She's your elimination.
like water.
Okay. What? Excellent. She just popped Fade, which means if you dash to her, she's free. You just have to figure out where she is.
Yeah,
That's not her.
yeah, that's a hammer.
Right. She
can basically dash any direction she wants, right?
Yes. But if you just go, hey, I'm going to double jump, I'm going to climb for a second because, that's not the usual place to see you. Then I'm going to fall off the wall and look for where she is, and I'm going to dash through and, shuriken her. That could have been it. You get the idea. But that's okay. That's okay. Back to, this is over. Yeah.
Yeah, this is over.
That's the end. Okay, not a big deal. So things that I would want to talk about here. I don't want to get ready screen. I want a more interesting screen than that. Sure. Things that I would talk about here are going to circle completely on your dash use. First, we have the dash use the dash that you're doing into opponents when there aren't eliminations on the board. You've got the one right here where you're going, hey, I'm getting away from the Winston. So I've got a sneeze that is just, not quite there.
That's okay.
Okay. So
Yeah,
your
yeah.
dashes that put you in danger, you need to be thinking a little bit more about, hey, can I do these dashes to safety? Can I do these dashes for eliminations? Your non-blade dashes are, I would like to both see you getting more of your eliminations with dash itself, where you are dashing too late and therefore having your dash on cooldown because you're not properly calculating the outgoing damage on the target from other teammates, which is just something you have to be thinking about it. It's not just like, oh, I always do the same number of shurikens and then I dash. Well, no, because you've got opponents swinging at them, you have opponents burning them with TNT, you have things like that, and it's okay if you dash someone a tiny bit early and they die an instant later because your teammate then hits them there. Like that's okay. You're not going to get in trouble for that very often. Every once in a while you will, but it's still something you want to do because you are using your dash as part of the burst there. So we want that. We want your dashes to be, hey, if I'm not getting an elimination with this or about to get an elimination right after it, I want it to be to safety. Like that is not coming off of your list. That is clearly something that still needs to be worked on. But the other thing I want you to work
Mm-hmm.
on is again your dashes, but I want you thinking about using your dashes specifically to get eliminations as part of your blade. Remember, if someone's 200 health, you're going to have to go slash dash if you don't have the nano. Hopefully you're going to have the nano and you can just slash dash 200 HP targets and you can even get eliminations through transcendences like that. So like that's something, using your dashes in your blades and using your dashes to move you around and get quality. Like remember, your dash there could have eliminated the McCree and done a bunch of damage to the Junkrat that you'd then have taken down with another slash. Like that could have been, instead
Yeah.
of like a one person blade, that could have been a 3-person regular blade. That's pretty good for a regular blade, no nano, right? So like that's
Yeah,
just
very
a
good.
case of you understanding, hey, I have to I have to be thinking about using my dashes as part of the damage. Like, let me get my damage from them. Let me get my movement from them. Let me really embrace the tool that is my dash. So for the dashes and blades, you're going to do some training. You're going to build yourself a quick replay code or not a workshop code, or you're going to build yourself a quick custom game and save it, or you're going to grab a workshop code. I don't care. And you're going to turn up your ult percentage a bunch, and you're going to go, hey, I'm going to try this. I'm going to load up 200 HP heroes on the enemy side. I'll do it, 30 minutes once or twice, and then I'll do like 10 minutes twice a week or something like that, or between queues or something like that. Fine, that's what you're going to do. For the other one, it really is going to be more of a, I just need to think harder about every time I use this dash ability. While I'm Every time I use this dash ability, in non-ult situations. And your ults, you're going to train it specifically. But out of ults, it's going to be a thinking game of, I'm watching how much damage you're taking. I'm watching how much damage you're taking to calculate my dash. And if I'm not watching how much damage you're taking to calculate my dash, it's because it's a dash to get me out of trouble, to get me into a safe place, right? And towards the opponents is not a safe place. Okay?
Definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. In terms of your contribution to this game, I mean, a Genji that doesn't get a ton of blade value isn't a Genji that's going to be contributing super heavily, but this is silver, and that's fine. My stance in general is going to be, I don't, like, I am a fan of one-tricking heroes. You've been mostly doing some one-tricking of the Genji here, and that's going to mean that, you're placed appropriately correctly. They might want you to swap to go, oh, hey, you should play a different hero, and you might perform better if you'd swapped to Reaper or something. I don't know. I haven't seen your Reaper, but I don't really care because that's not really an accurate placement of what you've been doing. What this account represents at this point in time is someone who plays Genji or someone who plays Genji and Hanzo. And it's okay to be like, if your goal was, hey, I want to win, I want to climb right now, that would be fine. But I promise you, that's not what ladder is for. It's not about trying to win every single game. Ladder is become the best training ground that there is for individual work by and large. So that's what you're going to end up using it for. Like, if you're
Yeah.
trying to hard climb, that's cool and all, and people have times that they're trying to hard climb. But the reality is the ladder is a mix of people who are trying for new peaks, people who are just fooling around having fun with their friends, and people who are working on They're heroes, and we're not changing that at this point. We're going to take advantage of it because quick play simply isn't serious enough to be, oh well, this is where
Yeah,
I'm
no.
working on my stuff, etc. So I don't care is the real answer, but do I think you had some terrible contribution here? No, this looks fine for Silver. I don't think you're absolutely getting crushed. I don't think this Winston was hard crushing you. You definitely had some mistakes that let the Winston do a little more work than he could have, but it's not like the Winston was just mopping the floor with you.
Yeah. I think, yeah, the thing you said about the competitive being the best place to practice, and my goal definitely isn't to climb right now. Even if I end at bronze this season, I'm perfectly happy with it. It's my first competitive season. I just wanted to check out how it feels, and since it's the best place to practice, I'm completely fine with just, even if I reach really low levels, as long as I get better with my main heroes, which are currently Genji and Hanzo
Sure.
and McCree, but I don't play that much McCree recently.
Yeah.
As long as I'm getting better with them and there's constant improvement, even though I know I won't be improving every game,
Right.
it's a slow burn. But the best thing would be if I could be, if that general knowledge could be explained to every single competitive player out there, that'd be the best thing ever.
It
Because
would
some
be
people, like you said,
amazing. It would be
it would be amazing.
amazing. But the problem is, every single competitive player out there isn't watching YouTube videos, isn't reading Reddit. Like, even if enough of the community believes this, um, it's not going to get to everywhere because there's not going to be some announcement in the client, right? In the Overwatch
Yeah.
client. So you just have to deal. It's unfortunate, but part of
The
what goes wrong in competitive is people show up with different goals or with different understandings of the game in general, different strong beliefs of how the game should be played. And there's not time to teach, re-educate, discuss those beliefs in the match. And that's really why Overwatch is so much more enjoyable in a team setting with people that you are dedicated to
Definitely.
playing with repeatedly. But the
Mhm.
ladder's and that's why the ladder isn't that. The ladder is your place to practice individual stuff. But hey.
Yeah, the one thing that's really good, and I applaud Blizzard for that, is when you have that report screen and there's like an option to report somebody for there's abusive chat, all that. There's basically something like gameplay sabotage, and it says in the yellow letters, not switching from a hero is
Yeah.
not gameplay sabotage. I'm
Yep.
really happy they added that, because if somebody even reports me for not switching, that report isn't valid because I didn't do nothing wrong.
Well, the report isn't valid, but the problem is you do have to wonder, like every tech company, what is actually happening when it gets reported. Is it a, hey,
Yeah,
enough get you flagged, and then if you get flagged, bots automatically do stuff? Or is it, hey, enough gets it flagged, gets it reviewed by a human? Is it, the problem is it becomes when something's as large as this, it can say that, but unless you 100% commit to nothing is ever happening off of just mass numbers of reports, like someone actually reviewed this, who knows? It doesn't matter though. You're not gonna. I mean, you're not. People don't really get mass reported. There used to be mass report brigades, etc., that would sometimes get people silenced, occasionally get people banned, but
yeah.
you don't see a ton of that anymore.
I've actually recently, like I think like maybe like 5 days ago, I turned on Overwatch and
Hmm.
I got an alert saying that I
Sure.
was reported multiple times for abusive chat, which
Yeah.
I never do. All I
Of
do is
course.
GG. That's it.
That's.
And I only play quick play, but I noticed that when I play quick play, especially Hanzo, I get a lot of
Yep.
Smurf messages. People think I'm a Smurf, which I take as a compliment
Good.
because I'm not.
Yeah.
But can they report me because of that? And the bots flag me because of that?
I mean, Blizzard hasn't shown me their code, but clearly the answer is yes, right? If you're saying GG
Damn.
and you're getting a report that says you've been you're being sanctioned for abusive chat, clearly it's a case of there's some level of, well, we're just outsourcing this to the community to do its reporting, and the community is misusing it. Now, I'm not you. I don't know. Maybe you did say something. Maybe you're lying to me, but I don't think you
Sometimes
are.
I do
But
say GG easy, but only because there's a funny message that
I
goes
know,
along with that. They
I
don't
know,
actually show GG
I
easy.
I
So
know,
I guess
I know.
people can get offended because of that. Maybe they think that I don't know that I'm saying GG easy because of the reason I'm saying it. So they think, oh, he thinks he's saying GG easy. Report.
Right, but the reality is
That could be a
Blizzard
case.
Blizzard knows what their GG Easy messages are, so like they
Yeah.
wouldn't those can't be reportable. I mean, they shouldn't be reportable. They clearly you can report whatever you want. Those shouldn't be actionable. Excuse me, is what I'm trying to say. But
Yeah.
clearly
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
instead relying on mass reporting to be like, well, if there's too many, it must be wrong, and you don't want to democratize punishment like that. But I understand it. Okay.
Just in case I've been on my best behavior recently, not saying anything really.
It doesn't matter. I mean, all that you would get would be a
Yeah.
chat ban, and it would be a
Yeah.
temporary chat ban. Okay. Any
Okay,
final
well,
questions?
No, I'll probably take another week off just to, just collect all this Genji knowledge and
Sure.
play one more week. And then, like, the week after, we're gonna start working on the Hanzo. And then the week after, Hanzo, and then McCree.
Sounds great. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Good luck to you, man. Talk to you soon. Or
Thank
talk
you.
to you in
Bye-bye.
more than a week, I guess. But talk to you then.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Pretty soon. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.